got the right to vote if you got the ability to vote and you care about the issues. Let me ask you this. If you're a minority, if you're Hispanic, if you're black, if you're Asian, if you're anything other than a white Christian, are you supporting other people of your own demographic? Are you really investing in your own community? If you're Hispanic, I already know you are. If you're Jewish, I already know you are. If you're Asian of any kind, I'm pretty sure you are. If you look at any community, it's the fact that they bring all of their money together. They're shopping at the same stores. They're going to the same dry cleaners. They're going to the same house of worship, whether it be a synagogue, a temple, or a church. They're probably doing a whole lot more things together than we can say that we are. Why can't we do it anywhere else? I'm not saying people don't try. A lot of people do try, but for whatever reason, they get shut down. If I can use an example, I'll go to Sterling's Market. Couldn't have been too much different from any other grocery store because it was just a grocery store. They had apples and oranges, milk and cereal, some bread, probably some steaks, potato chips, Zuzus and whams, as my mom calls them. Bottled water, I'm sure. Probably sold condoms, I don't know. Black owned by a dude named Sterling. And people could have just gone over there, grabbed some whatever they needed, and it could have worked out fine. As far as I know, it's not even there anymore. And I always wonder why that black dude who opened the grocery store couldn't keep his grocery store open. If somebody supports me trying to make movies and says, hey, you know what? I'm going to pay $5 to go see a screening of his movie just because I want to support him just because he's black. You know what? That might be a very superficial way of thinking, but you know what? It's a step in the right direction. As much as I like to tell people that I'm all for equality, segregation might not have been that bad. Here's why I say this. Not only did separate but equal hold in a true definition for about 50 years, you got black-owned businesses, you got black politicians, organizations started by, first of all, not only educated because the HBCUs were thriving back then, but you got people who were professional. You got black people who were slaves or were raised by slaves who had all these manual and professional skills that the used to be rich white people turned into carpetbaggers. They didn't have anymore. And along comes Jim Crow laws, and it just started to get worse to the point where people were severely fighting to be on equal terms with white people. To take a step back, I look at how great things could have been had it stayed separate and stayed equal. You had HBCUs, which would have been thriving. Yes, most of them were teaching agricultural and technical and mechanical, basically teaching people how to be employees. If you're the employee of a company owned by other black people hiring black people to work for black people, to sell stuff to black people, to pay for black stuff. If it's all circulating in the same neighborhood, how could that possibly be a bad thing? Another thing that comes to mind has to be the fact that right now, today, in this great city of St. Louis, we have enough celebrities. You know, enough people will come, enough people will show their face at an event, blah, blah, blah. If you can come to an understanding, then it doesn't matter if I'm in New York or LA, Chicago, Atlanta, kinda, Miami, Dallas, Houston. But aside from that, you're trying to tell me, oh, well, because it's not LA. LA, let me tell you something. I can go to LA right now and beg them to give me a shot. I could go find somebody who works for Steven Spielberg and beg them to give me a shot. I could go find somebody that works for whoever and beg them to give me a shot. But you know what else I could do? I could cultivate myself right here in this great city of St. Louis and start from scratch. Because why go out there at this point in time, 2012, looking towards the future? It's way too easy to just run. And it's way too hard to think that you're going to actually get somewhere. Why not start here? Invest in my culture, invest in my neighborhood, invest in my city, and end up at the top of something that I built as opposed to climbing up to the top of somebody else's mountain. How great could that be? If we as black people invest in ourselves and make our own mountain, how great could we be?